Chapter 1: The First Circle. I found myself standing on the precipice of a desolate landscape. The air felt stagnant, heavy with the weight of unfulfilled desires. As I took my first step, a chilling wind whispered tales of regret and lost opportunities. The ground beneath me was ashen and devoid of life. This was Limbo, the first circle of hell, where the souls of the virtuous pagans and the unbaptized dwelled for eternity. Shadows flitted around me, their presence both comforting and unsettling. A gray horizon stretched endlessly, its monotonous hue reflecting the stagnant nature of this realm. There were no sunsets or sunrises, only a perpetual gloom that echoed the soul's eternal state of waiting. Whispers carried on the wind the fragmented memories of those trapped here. The souls longed for recognition, for someone to remember their existence. Their ethereal voices mingled with my thoughts, a haunting chorus of longing. In the distance, I saw the imposing silhouette of a library, a repository of forgotten knowledge. Within its hallowed halls, books lay untouched, their pages filled with the untold stories of the forsaken. Groups of renowned philosophers engaged in endless debates, their arguments echoing through the empty spaces. Socrates, Aristotle, and Plato clashed over eternal questions, trapped in a perpetual cycle of intellectual discourse. Painters and poets roamed aimlessly, their creations never to be admired by mortal eyes. Their works were imbued with melancholy, reflecting the essence of their eternal longing. A colossal statue towered above me, its expression one of eternal sorrow. It depicted the embodiment of lost hope, a reminder that dreams unfulfilled were the chains that bound the souls in this circle. Beneath the gray sky, I heard the sighs of the unbaptized, their souls forever denied entry into paradise. Their yearning for salvation echoed through the desolate expanse, a lament that hung in the air. In the distance, noble figures clad in armor stood guard. These were the ancient heroes, warriors and rulers of old, forever remembered but eternally out of reach of the divine embrace. As I walked among the souls, I heard the murmurs of brilliant minds, thinkers, scientists, and inventors. They pondered the mysteries of the universe, their restless intellect a testament to unfulfilled curiosity. I glimpsed couples wandering in a perpetual dance of longing. Lovers who were separated in life found each other here, forever yearning for an embrace that would never come. Faint echoes of laughter resounded through the stillness, reminders of joy long extinguished. Laughter turned hollow and melancholic, as the souls clung to fleeting memories of mirth. A solitary figure stood at the threshold of Limbo, a guardian tasked with the eternal duty of allowing souls to enter but denying them passage back. Their somber eyes seemed burdened by the weight of infinite responsibility. A river meandered through this circle, its waters murmuring tales of forgotten lives. This was the river Lethe, the river of oblivion, where the souls drank to erase their memories, as if seeking solace in eternal amnesia. Voices of children resounded, their innocent cries etched with a profound sadness. These were the unbaptized infants, forever denied the joys of heaven, their lamentations piercing the hearts of all who listened. As I journeyed deeper, the ground turned softer, as if sinking into a vast expanse of sand. Footsteps of those who came before me faded with each passing moment, swallowed by the ever-shifting terrain. Guides, once great mentors and teachers, now wandered aimlessly. Their wisdom was a burden, as they yearned to impart knowledge that would forever go unheard. Faces obscured by thin veils drifted by, their expressions impossible to discern. These were the souls burdened by hidden truths, their secrets concealed even in death. A statue stood at the heart of Limbo, a figure locked in eternal mourning. Its silent lament mirrored the despair of the souls trapped in this circle, forever denied the solace of divine redemption. A haunting melody filled the air, drawing me towards a melancholic symphony. The siren's song seduced the soul, enticing it to abandon all hope and surrender to the numbing embrace of Limbo. In the center of Limbo, An hourglass lay shattered, a symbol of time frozen and dreams shattered. The sands of possibility slipped through the cracks, leaving the souls suspended in a perpetual state of anticipation. Scholars and academics roamed in search of knowledge, their thirst for understanding unquenchable. Yet, in this realm of stagnation, their pursuits seemed futile, forever doomed to be on the brink of revelation but never reaching it. Ghosts of unrequited love floated through the mist, their ethereal forms wrapped in an eternal embrace. Their stories were etched in sorrow, love unfulfilled and hearts left to wither in the void. Mirrors lined the path, each reflecting distorted versions of myself. The faces staring back were filled with longing and a hint of resignation, a reflection of my own existence in this purgatory of lost potential. Couples swayed to unheard music, their dance a graceful tragedy. Forever locked in an embrace, their steps were fluid and seamless, yet they were destined to twirl in an eternal waltz that would never reach its crescendo. The touch of a lover's hand lingered in the air, a phantom caress that left a bittersweet ache. The souls clung to the memory of that last embrace, a fleeting moment of warmth in a realm of perpetual coldness. A figure stood before me, clad in tattered robes, a gatekeeper whose eyes held the weight of countless souls. Their gaze pierced through my very being, as if judging the worthiness of my presence in this forsaken realm. Petals of withered roses floated gently on the breeze, carried by currents that seemed to whisper stories of shattered dreams. Each petal represented a dream unfulfilled, a life left incomplete. In the depths of limbo, I discovered a broken key, a symbol of lost opportunities. Its jagged edges reminded me of the doors that remained forever closed, the paths untaken, and the chances irretrievably lost. As I pressed onward, the weight of time bore down upon me. This was the curse of limbo, the eternal weight, where hope and despair intertwined, and the souls existed in a perpetual state of anticipation. Chapter 2: The Second Circle of Hell. As I descended further into the depths of hell, a chill gripped my heart. The air grew thick with the stench of decay, and a sense of foreboding enveloped me. This was the second circle, where the souls of the lustful were condemned to eternal torment. Whispers filled the air, seductive and alluring. Figures emerged from the shadows, their eyes burning with a passionate hunger. They beckoned me, luring me deeper into their clutches. Thick mists hung low, obscuring my vision. They danced with an ethereal grace, teasing and taunting, revealing tantalizing glimpses of pleasure and ecstasy that would forever remain out of reach. Amidst the haze, I saw couples entwined in a twisted embrace, their bodies bound by chains. They yearned for release, their desires transformed into a never-ending cycle of anguish and frustration. A river of molten gold snaked through the circle, its currents reflecting the fiery passions of the damned. The souls, lost in their insatiable desires, waded through the scorching river, forever consumed by their lust. Melodies of seduction echoed through the air, their enchanting notes casting a spell over the lost souls. The sirens' song enticed, their voices captivating and irresistible, drawing the damned closer to their eternal damnation. I found myself trapped within a labyrinth of desire, where every turn led to another temptation. The walls whispered forbidden pleasures, their voices growing louder with each step, urging me to succumb. As I ventured deeper, the air grew hotter, and flames danced with an unnatural intensity. They symbolized the unquenchable fire of desire, burning both the body and soul of the tormented souls. Faces adorned with masks of beauty and allure surrounded me. Their captivating facades hid the true nature of their torment, a facade that crumbled with every passing moment, revealing the despair and emptiness beneath. Cries of anguish filled the air, the desperate pleas of souls trapped in a perpetual state of longing. They yearned for the touch and intimacy they would never experience again, their wails echoing through the corridors of this forsaken realm. Visions of pleasure materialized before me, promising fulfillment and satisfaction. But as I reached out to grasp them, they dissolved into nothingness, leaving me empty-handed and consumed by a deeper sense of longing. Figures swayed in a macabre dance, their movements erratic and desperate. They were the embodiment of broken promises and shattered trust, forever condemned to relive the betrayal that led them to this circle of hell. As I navigated the labyrinth, demonic entities with twisted forms and leering grins appeared. They reveled in the suffering of the souls, stoking the fires of desire and prolonging their torment. In the midst of this infernal realm, statues wept tears of blood. Their mournful cries echoed through the corridors, mirroring the anguish and regret that consumed the souls entrapped in their lustful desires. Mirrors adorned the walls, reflecting distorted images of myself. The reflections mocked my desires, warping them into grotesque caricatures, a reminder of the ugliness that lay beneath the allure of temptation. Amidst the chaos, I heard the lamentations of lost love, a symphony of heartbreak and betrayal. The souls cried out for the love they had forsaken, forever tormented by the knowledge of what they had lost. Golden cages lined the path, trapping souls in their glistening embrace. These were the prisoners of their own desires, their lust transforming into a gilded prison from which there was no escape. Within the shadows, embers of passion flickered, their glow dim but undying. They represented the remnants of the soul's once burning desires, now reduced to smoldering remnants, fueling their eternal torment. Bodies intertwined, their forms locked in an eternal embrace of pleasure and pain. The flesh, once a vessel of ecstasy, now became a testament to the betrayal of earthly desires. In this circle of perpetual lust, I realized that every step forward only led me deeper into the abyss. It was a descent without end, a labyrinthine journey through the darkest recesses of desire. The echoes of regret reverberated through the corridors, a constant reminder of the consequences of unbridled passion. The souls cried out, their voices blending into a cacophony of remorse and self-condemnation. Figures shrouded in illusionary intimacy surrounded me, their embraces empty and devoid of warmth. They symbolized the hollow connections forged through lust, a cruel mockery of true intimacy and emotional connection. Amidst the darkness, a garden emerged, lush with fruits that promised ecstasy and pleasure. But every bite brought only emptiness, leaving the souls forever hungry for a satisfaction they would never attain. Specters of desire swirled in a seductive dance, their forms ethereal and beguiling. They taunted with their sensual allure, their touch promising pleasure that could never be attained. As I continued my journey, the cries of broken hearts grew louder. The souls mourned the love they had lost, their hearts shattered by the consequences of their insatiable lust. Faces tormented by forbidden love haunted the corridors. They were the lovers torn apart by circumstance and societal boundaries, their passion twisted into eternal suffering. Flames licked at the heels of the damned, fueled by their insatiable obsessions. The fire consumed their bodies and souls, an eternal punishment for their inability to free themselves from their relentless desires. In this circle, I encountered souls trapped in ill-fated encounters. They were destined to meet again and again, driven by an uncontrollable desire that only led to further anguish and disappointment. Within the shadows, the tempters cried out in frustration, their pleas for release echoing through the dark. They, too, were trapped in this circle, condemned to entice but never truly satisfy the desires of others. As I reached the center of the second circle, I found myself caught in an endless spiral of lust. It twisted and turned, drawing me deeper into its clutches, ensuring that escape was an impossibility. As I concluded my journey through the second circle of hell, the chilling realization struck me. I had only scratched the surface of the horrors that awaited me in this nightmarish realm. The deeper I ventured, the more I understood the depths of human depravity and the eternal suffering that awaited those consumed by their basest desires. Chapter 3: The Third Circle. The air grew heavy with despair as I descended further into the bowels of hell. This was the third circle, where the gluttonous souls were condemned to eternal torment. The stench of decay assaulted my senses, and I could feel the weight of darkness pressing upon me. In the distance, I heard a cacophony of insatiable hunger, a horde of souls consumed by their voracious appetites. They clawed and gnashed their teeth, forever trapped in a ravenous frenzy that could never be satisfied. A river of putrid sludge flowed through this circle, thick and vile. The souls wallowed in its foulness, their bodies submerged in the muck as they devoured whatever scraps of sustenance they could find. Tables stretched endlessly, laden with decadent feasts that would never be enjoyed. The gluttonous souls were forever trapped in this banquet of excess, their mouths stuffed, but their hunger never quelled. Figures with bloated bodies staggered through the darkness, their grotesque forms distorted by their insatiable greed. Their bellies bulged with the weight of their overindulgence, a grotesque reminder of their earthly sins. Moans of hunger echoed through the air, mingling with the sounds of chewing and swallowing. The souls were plagued by an eternal craving, condemned to eternally yearn for sustenance that would forever elude them. A massive pit loomed before me, filled with discarded scraps of food. The souls clawed at the rotting remains, fighting for morsels that would do nothing to satiate their eternal hunger. Ferocious demons with insatiable appetites loomed over the damned, relishing in their suffering. They taunted and jeered, encouraging the souls to indulge in their gluttony, reveling in the chaos they had helped create. The air grew thick with a choking haze, a result of the gluttonous excess that permeated the third circle. The smoke filled the lungs and made it difficult to breathe, adding to the torment of the condemned souls. Amidst the feasting and indulgence, cries of regret pierced through the air. The souls realized the emptiness of their earthly desires, the consequences of their insatiable appetites that had led them to this wretched fate. Amidst the abundance, I saw piles of wasted food, an ironic symbol of the glutton's eternal punishment. The nourishment they had squandered in life now served as a cruel reminder of their insatiable greed. The gluttonous souls themselves became grotesque spectacles of decay. Their flesh rotted and festered, plagued by the consequences of their indulgence. They were trapped in bodies that could never be satisfied. I tasted bitterness on my tongue, an echo of the glutton's eternal punishment. They could never savor the flavors of food again, condemned to a monotonous existence of flavorless torment. The hunger that consumed the souls was insatiable, a bottomless pit that could never be filled. They tore at their own flesh, desperate for nourishment that would never come, forever driven by their ravenous desires. In their desperation, the gluttonous souls turned to devouring vermin that scurried through the darkness. Rats and insects became their only source of sustenance, a repulsive feast that mirrored their own degradation. Balanced scales hung in the air, their equilibrium forever disrupted by the weight of gluttony. They symbolized the distorted priorities of the damned, their obsession with material indulgence leading them to this eternal torment. Shadows danced upon the walls, their forms grotesquely bloated and distorted. They were the twisted reflections of the gluttons, forever condemned to exist in a state of perpetual excess. The gluttonous souls, driven by an insatiable hunger, devoured their own bodies in a desperate attempt to satisfy their craving. But their flesh regenerated, perpetuating their agony and leaving them trapped in an unending cycle of consumption. Before my eyes the feast disappeared, leaving only empty plates and barren tables. It was a cruel illusion, a reminder that the gluttonous souls were forever denied the pleasures they once reveled in. Amidst the chaos, I heard the lamentations of the gluttonous souls, their cries filled with regret and longing. They yearned for moderation and self-control, realizing too late the consequences of their insatiable appetites. In this circle, the gluttons were subjected to a never-ending torment of gastronomic agony. Their bellies swelled and distended, only to be sliced open and emptied, a cycle of pain and gluttony that had no respite. I glimpsed a gaping abyss, filled with swirling digestive fluids that dissolved the gluttons' bodies. They were continually consumed and reborn, their physical forms never finding rest from the torment of their indulgence. Desperation filled the air as the gluttons fought over morsels of food. They clawed and bit, their selfishness and greed amplified by their eternal hunger, forever doomed to compete for sustenance that could never truly nourish. The hunger that gnawed at the gluttonous souls was more than physical, it devoured their minds and souls, leaving them perpetually consumed by their insatiable desires. Pits filled with vomit dotted the landscape, their acidic contents burning the souls as they immersed themselves. It was a grotesque cycle of ingestion and regurgitation, an eternal reminder of their excessive indulgence. I found myself lost within a labyrinth of excess, where every turn led to another banquet of gluttony. The souls stumbled through the maze, forever seeking fulfillment that could never be attained. The sustenance the gluttons consumed faded away, leaving them perpetually famished. Their cravings were a cruel mirage, forever out of reach, as they withered away in a state of eternal hunger. Within this circle, the gluttons were tempted with forbidden delicacies. They were tantalized by the aromas and flavors of their most coveted foods, only to have them snatched away at the last moment, leaving them in agonizing longing. The gluttonous souls, driven mad by their eternal hunger, turned to cannibalism. They feasted upon one another in a horrific display of self-destruction, their insatiable appetites consuming both body and soul. As I traversed the third circle, I realized the depths of human indulgence and the eternal suffering that awaited those consumed by their insatiable cravings. The gluttons were trapped in a perpetual feast of their own making, forever tormented by their insatiable appetites and the emptiness that came with it. The journey through the third circle of hell was harrowing, a descent into the darkest recesses of human excess. But little did I know that even greater horrors awaited me in the depths of the underworld, beckoning me to continue my journey through the infernal realm.